Well, hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today's video is something slightly different. I'm putting myself to a challenge. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you've been watching the Break Pass series, you'll notice that my short game over time has been letting me down just a fraction. And when I mean letting me down, it's just giving shots away, which frustrates me. And then it's about keeping your composure, isn't it? If you're getting annoyed on the golf course, keeping your composure, well, that's really important to shooting lower scores. So I'm out here at Thirteenth today, we're taking on the back nine, and I've got myself this challenge, which is I've got to hit fairways, I've got to hit greens, and when I hit that green, I've got to kick that ball off the green to a position where I've then got to chip and see if I can get up and down. So I'm going to get a point for hitting the fairway, a point for hitting the green. We've got one par 5, one par 3, so it should be 18 points if I do all of those correctly. And then ultimately, what do I actually score? We're going to put this in association with shot scope as well, because we're going to make this a bit of a break par kind of extra, should we call it. Oh, that was bouncy. But let's get out there. Down in the comments, what do you think I'm going to shoot for 9 holes here at Thirteenth? Not the best strike, but we've hit the fairway, so we got a point to start us off with. So I'm going to be using the ShotScope app along with my watch today, and the reason I'm going to be using the app is because I want to plot my way around the golf course just a little bit better. So giving myself the option to set up to where I need to hit from my next shot. So I don't want to be smashing it up there close to the green. I need to hit the fairway, remember, and anywhere just past the fairway is not classed as a point. So I hit 4-iron there. I wanted to hit it around 175. Didn't quite strike it early morning, so I don't think 4-iron's going to go that far this morning. So 4-iron going, let's say 175, should give me what I think is like a perfect 58 into that green. However, bound to get snags. 115 yards. This grass is extremely wet, so the ball is just not run at all. So with 115 yards, again being slightly shorter this morning early on, I'm going to go with a wedge, and I'm not even looking at that flag because it's tucked in on that right hand side. I'm going middle of the green. Let's see if we can get another point on the board. Don't pull it too much. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Okay, we're dancing. So we got 2 points. First 2 swings. I'm happy with that. This pin, back right corner, I've got myself kind of back and left of centre. So I pulled it slightly, which meant that the club went a little bit further than I was probably expecting it to go at this time of the morning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it off the green, which would kind of, because it's missed it left, I'm going to go on the left side, and because I've gone long of centre, I'm going to go past the pin. So I've kind of really short-sided myself here. And remember, I've got a drop, so I've got to make sure that I'm off the green enough. So it's gonna, I know it's going to roll down to the bottom of this hill here. So I'm just going to drop and just see where it kind of, where it ends up. So I'm missing left and long. Where's it going to go? So this is now what I'm left with. It's kind of nestled up against a little bit of grass there, a bit of thicker grass. So I've left with a little bit of an upslope, which should allow me to be able to stop that ball a little bit quicker because of that upslope going up, drop down, steeper descent angle. Oh, look at that kick. Sit, 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 sit. Right, happy with that. What's that? 4 feet, something like that, 4 or 5 feet. So the key to these particular putts, again, because I'm now a little bit out of my comfort zone here, not stone dead am I, so these are kind of like your momentum putts. These are the ones that keep you going. These for par, puts a smile on your face when it drops in, feels like a birdie when you drop it in, but can also frustrate you if you start missing a few of them, which from previous videos you may have seen, I have missed a few of these. So just trying to mop this up a little off that right side, it should go. And that went that way. I've read that way. Completely snapped at the hole. Oh, right, there you go. 1 over par. Right, I don't want you to think that I'm not playing these holes properly, as in I'm not playing aggressively enough. I've got my hybrid here, which is my sort of 205 club, landing 205, and then it should just sort of skip forward slightly. I'm trying to get myself down there around, I don't know, around sort of like 215 to 220, because it really bottlenecks in, and you've got to position yourself here because it's really, really important. It's not a particularly narrow fairway, but it's one of which you want to find. That's a little right. Is that going to hold on to something? Yeah, that is just literally held on by about a foot. So if I look at that bogey that I've just made there, I've actually played a really good chip shot off a tough lie. I've read that putt kind of how I expected it. You saw the ball kind of move down the slope as the chip kind of came away. So I've done all the things that I should have done to read that putt. I just didn't see it snapping like that at the hole. So I can't really have a pop at myself in the fact that I can't be disappointed in myself, because I've read it, I've done all the things that I should have done from a homework point of view. It's just done something that I was not expecting it to do. So therefore I've hit a good putt, I've just not read it correctly. So let's not be too disappointed. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to make birdies around here, isn't it? But let's just keep the ship steady. Let's not get too disappointed in a little drop shot like that, and let's keep moving forward. Right, shot scope telling me I've got 156 yards in the middle of that green. I am 30 yards shy of where I was hoping I would be. So a slight miss hit. So that's 2 miss hits off 2 tee shots. But I've hit the fairway, so I've got my point. I've left myself with a 7-iron into this green. That pin middle of the green and tucked in on that right-hand side. And I want to try and feel like I'm hitting a bit of a shape here. Ball's slightly above my feet. So I'm going to try and almost start it at the flag on the left-hand side and let it drift to the right-hand side a fraction. This is a 7-iron, so I've got to get hold of it to get it into that middle portion of the green. And I've pulled it, madly pulled it. Wow, that is a bad shot. Well, at least I won't have to throw it off the green. Well, it's not the best shot in town, was it, that second shot? But you're going to get the odd pulley one. Bit disappointed in the fact that I've tried to force a 7-iron. Should have probably hit 6-iron and just let it slide a little bit. Smoother swing, not trying to hit it too hard. However, I'm left with 58 degree. I just need to basically get it over this bunker. If I can get it over this bunker, then it'll all feed down to that hole. And the good thing is, I do need to worry about this tree a little bit, but hopefully I should be able to just go over that. Let it release down to that hole. Loads of green to work with. Don't kick too far right. Sit down there then. Okay, there's a chance of a par. I'm left with there about 6-7 feet up the hill, 8 feet up the hill, which I actually think is a really good shot from where I was. Didn't flirt too much with that tree, which was good. And I'm seeing this. I'm seeing it. It feels like it should go a little bit from left to right up the hill. Up the hill, DH. That is wet. That didn't move either, did it? Oh, it's bogey start. I can hear it now. I can read it now from you. Playing a little bit conservatively, Dan. Got to be a bit more aggressive, certainly when you haven't got any shots to play with. Okay, let's get a little bit more aggressive. 12th hole. This is a longie. This is stroke 2. When I say longie, it's 425 off this tee. Get up there then, up the left-hand side. Go on, chase. Chase up there. So 154 middle, which is a perfect 8-iron on a perfect day. However, it's, as we've said, we're not hitting it as far today, so far. However, 135 front, that pin is on the front, so I need to take that into consideration. So I'm kind of saying that that pin is going to be about 140. So ball is slightly below my feet, coming out of a bit of wet rough or semi-rough. So I'm aiming kind of left edge of the green. I'm going to try and naturally drift it from left to right and let it fall to the middle of that green, hopefully. Okay, don't overcut. I am so short this morning. It's gone, that 8-iron has gone about 130 yards. And you know, that was a question I've had recently, actually, in the Sunday show, I think, was, is there anything that you do differently when it comes to setting yourself up for winter golf? Well, there's a few things, isn't there, that you can do. Lots of things, actually. However, one of them is we need to just be mindful that we're not hitting it as far as we would hit it, let's say, in the summer or a bit later on in the day, because early morning, certainly if you're teeing off in the morning, it's going to be a lot colder, your body's going to be colder, the ball isn't going to fly as far, it's not going to compress as well, so therefore you're not going to hit it quite as far. So you've got to take all of that into consideration. So that's a little prep for you for winter golf. Don't need to drop it. What I do need to do is find where my 50% mark is. So this is my 50% mark, so this is kind of where a 9-iron would go, I would say, which is 50-50 kind of club for me. So I've got my landing zone, so this is me doing my homework, and then I'm just gonna kind of land it in that spot. Remember, it's landing on a bit of an upslope, so it's gonna kill it fractionally. I'm not gonna try and do anything different to accommodate for that. I'm just gonna literally make sure I land it in the right spot, allowing for that little bit of stool. There we go, come on then, in you go. Oh, that would have been a nice chip in, wouldn't it? That would have put a smile back on my face. We've made a par, which is tidy. We'll take that par and run away, because the 12th hole is a dangerous hole. But again, you can see there, get the chip right, get it stone dead, takes all the pressure off you, leaves you with a stress-free round of golf. Now, 13th hole, I always love to have a little pop at this one, but I've got to think about that fairway, haven't I? So I want to hit it into kind of like the fattest part of there, which is about 220 yards down there, which calls for trusty. There you go, there's your fairway. 215 to 220 yards. Trusty 5-wood. Another point on the board. Kind of a weird situation I'm in here now, because, you know, middle of the green is kind of leaves you the perfect uphill putt down here. However, I got to think about my chip shot and where I'm going to be wanting to chip from, because if I leave it short right, I've got to drop down into that dip. If I miss it short left, I've got an awful chip up the green. So really, I don't want to be back left, because then I've got an awful chip down the hill, and then I need to miss it kind of almost like back right would be the ideal, right of the flag, but pin high. Again, the perfect thing about that is that leaves me the perfect uphill putt if I was to be able to putt from there. That's 108 to the back of that green. It's probably 100 yards to the flag, so I've got about 8 paces behind that flag. I want to get this starting on the flag, drifting to the right, with I think is just a good 52-degree wedge. Don't you dare miss left of that flag. Go right of that flag. Oh, that's perfect. Look at it spin though. Yeah, I mean, that would have been the perfect putt up that hill. Absolutely spot on. The best chance of making birdie is just below that flag. But the good thing is now I get to drop to the right there, leaves me an uphill chip. Back right corner. Oof, stinker. Oh, what do I play here? 58. 58 could come out completely dead, whereas 52 could come out really hot. And I don't want the hot one, because if I go long, I'm left with an absolute shocking putt. So I need to leave this just shy of that hole. So I'm going to go 58 degree, and hopefully I'm going to have to land it at least halfway up there. Get it to stop just left of that flag, dead line with the flag. That's where I'm going. Come round, please. Come round, come round. Oh, you've left a stinker. Oof. It's got to be about 6 inches of break on that particular putt. It's got to be out here and dropping in, which is not ideal, if I'm honest. Be positive with this one, because as soon as you take the pace off of this, it's going to start snapping left on you. Oh, crikey, I think we pulled that one as well. Okay, so scores on the doors right now. So I'm 2 over par for the actual score. However, I'm 3 over. I've got 5 points out of a possible 8 points with the actual hitting fairways and hitting greens. So need to try and sort of bring that down if I can, because I feel like that's a hugely important part of this whole project, is, you know, to focus on your short game and focus on your scoring, but you can't lose sight of what you've been doing well, which is hitting fairways, hitting greens. Let's get that back under control. Kick right a little bit, please. I'm not sure That's fairway. Funny hole this 14th, because they've moved the fairway across to the right hand side, brought in some trees to stop people flying it over the top really, just to create a bit more shape onto the hole off the tee. So I get a bit confused. People think I play here all the time. I don't play here a lot, and sometimes if I hit it over the pole with a driver, I'll run out into the rough. So I always do hug the left side, but you've got to get it far enough down there to get past all the rough. So I'm not sure if I've got it down there far enough today. No, it doesn't look bad. Okay, we're all right. We're good. We're fine. Probably haven't thought this one through actually. I should probably get a point for hitting the fairway twice on a par 5. I'm going to focus on trying to rip it onto that front edge. I've got 240 yards onto that front of that green, so I'm going to try and absolutely smash one down there at that bunker on the left, and then let it naturally drift to the right. Oh, I've nailed it. I've just hit it a bit straight maybe. Get right. Clip that trap. Okay. That's all right, just short of the second trap down there. Just a quick one, if you are enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. Just double check for me, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. Let's see if I can make a birdie. Now, I don't want to miss it left, because obviously I've got loads of green to work with. I want to get it as close as I can. If anything, I want to try and get it so I can chip it in, really. So I need to miss it kind of front right here. If I can miss it just short and right of that flag, that'll give me a chance just off the edge of the green. If I go long of the flag, I'll have to drop down into the dip. So interestingly, I've got a little 9-iron. I'm just going to push it forward, try and keep it up the right hand side. It's not a tough shot really. Just keep it up the right hand side. It should kick in once it gets onto that green down to the left. Short right is what I need. That's a great shot. Sit down. Yeah, short right of the flag. That leaves me a pretty straightforward chip to the short right of that pin. Look at me, oozing with confidence. Got the flag out. I am thinking it was something between a pitching wedge or a 52. I'm going to go with 52 because I'm expecting a little bit of skid still this morning. I'm going to try and land it just on that front part, which is a slight upslope. So it might kill it a little bit, but I'm hoping that skid will kind of get rid of that. Push it forward, make sure we land it in the right spot, and let it trickle into that hole. Oh! Oh, it moved! I didn't read the break as much as that. Oh, okay. It's just about plotting though, isn't it? You know, even with a little game like this, plotting your way around the golf course, trying to leave yourself in the position where you can give yourself the best chip possible to be able to hole the chip, I think is really important and can start to get you thinking about how to plot your way around a golf course, let's say in a normal round of golf. Okay, I'm aiming for a very small slither of fairway there, aren't I? Is this the right play? Yes, it's the right play. It's the right play because I don't want to leave myself too far back. Remember, we're plotting our way around this golf course. At that bunker in the distance, the left one, and just let it move off there. Got to fly on that line, get through. Okay, I think we're in the rough. I think. Be lucky, be lucky. Oh, you lucky boy, is that in? Oh, it's just in. Just in. I feel like I deserved that. A little bit of luck come on my side there. I should never have got through those trees, but it had enough skip on it. Again, wet conditions, got a bit more sort of skid, a bit of aquaplaning, should we call it. But now I'm looking with a tricky shot in. That tree is overhanging fractionally, but I'm not really aiming at that flag. I'm trying to keep myself more in the centre. 103 to the middle of that green. So I want to get this. I don't want to, well, I kind of want to miss it middle right is what I need, because again, I'll be dropping just off the edge of the green. In fact, short right is perfect, because that again leaves me very similar. You've got like this little area which you can drop into, which should leave me a pretty straightforward putt from there, or chip. Okay, just missed this tree. Oh, that's really good. Really good. Yeah, that won't be too far away from the flag, that, but it's all about the drop. Not dissimilar to the hole before where I had that little chip, but again, have I brought the right club here? I've got a pitching wedge, I've got a little rise up here. So really what I would normally say is that the green starts at the top of the rise point, which is there, but I don't really want to throw a 58 all the way there. I want to keep it along the ground if I can. And I think that because of that, again, a little bit of wet condition, a little bit of dew, I feel as though the skid should deal with that upslope. Pick your landing spot, focus on that, execute the shot. Weak, wasn't it? Just not the best strike, if I'm honest. Pretty straightforward putt, pretty straight up the hill, not a lot to it. In. That is a stress-free par. We like stress-free pars in this event. Still 2 over, still 3 over. Just doing a bit of work on this 16th, so I've got to plot it. So I definitely don't want to be going any more than 200 yards off this tee. 200 yards is a run out of fairway, which then leaves you around 120 in. So 200 yards, no more than 200 yards. 5 iron. 5 iron should be absolutely perfect. That'll do, mate. Absolutely do me, that one. So the one thing that I am learning with this game, actually, is you can't be too negative. You can't just try and hit for points, because you ultimately still got to put a score together. And what I mean by that is that by me being a little bit more aggressive off the tee, pushing my limits to that point, it leaves me with shorter clubs in, which then allows me to be able to dial in exactly where I want to miss that flag, or miss that green, should we say, because you can see there from those last 2 shots that I've hit in there, or last 3 shots, if I'm going with wedges, it gives me the opportunity to hit the portion of the green which leaves me with the easier chip from where I am. So I actually think playing aggressive, playing to those points where I'm trying to get up the fairway as much as possible but don't run out, gives you the best opportunity to still score and still have the opportunity to give yourself the easiest chip to make a birdie. 144 middle, that pin is front left. You do not want to miss this green left, really, because it leaves you down a downhill shot, like as in if I missed it left. I can hit the middle of the green, just left of the green, leaves me short left, gives me the easiest chip again, I think. I know it's on a bit of a downslope, but that's a big long chip from that front right corner. So I'm just trying to start this kind of on the flag and then hopefully let it move, not quite middle, but nearly middle of that green. Like that, really. Don't go too long. Come down. Come down. Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, it was the perfect shot, so it would have left me a birdie. That's all right, that one there. I can leave that just short left now because I'm not middle. I can leave myself just short left there, leaving myself a pretty straightforward chip down the hill. Feed down, feed down, feed down. Just come out with nothing on it at all. Dead. And it's a bit of a slippery one, if I'm honest. It's not a putt you'd want in a medal, put it that way, if you're like, you know, if you're on the limit, whether it's your handicap or whether you're trying to break par or... But I just think it's left half and let it feed down from there. Cool, that fell in, didn't it? Crikey. Long par 3 here, 182 to the back edge. Now, I do not want to miss this pin left if I can help it. I need to be starting it on the flag and just drifting it a little right. If anything, I need to be long. Short is kind of a long chip up the green. In fact, if I go long right, I'm dead there because that pin is very back left and there's a big ridge there. So I actually want to kind of keep this, well, I need to keep it short right. I've hit that really well. So good. I just want this in the middle of the green, short right. I mean, it's a great shot. It's where I'd want that ball to be on that green if I was putting. What a game. This one really does get you thinking. I reckon you've never seen me think like this when I'm doing a vlog, and I know vlogs are a little bit more run around, chase the ball around, but I am really getting into the zone here of thinking of where do I want to miss this shot? Where do I want my next chip to be? And that's definitely where you need to be when it comes to kind of short-siding yourself or not short-siding yourself. And I think of those first couple of holes, or certainly the first hole, even though I had a decent shot in there, actually I needed to miss it right. It would have left me the easiest chip up that green. You know, so learning, definitely learning as I go around with this game. I've actually pulled out a 6-iron. Little ridge here, so I need to get rid of this ridge, so I almost need to land it somewhere in and around there, which I think is about 25% of the way. And then it runs up from there, so 25%, then 75% roll. So 6-iron, it feels quite hot, a 6-iron from here, as in it feels like it is too much club, but I think because it's so uphill and then there's still a lot of water on that green, it's pretty straight up there as well. Grab some water, please. Sit. Oh, that's a tough putt. But Churston's biggest saving grace with it, really, because it's not the longest course in the world, but is its greens. They're so slopey, and if you get on the wrong side of the slopes, you can rack up a hell of a score. But if you get on the right side of the slopes, you can start to score quite nicely. But I've got it a little bit out of that, just a little out of the right. Again, just keep the pace up, that's what we want. Oh, caught the edge of that one, didn't it? Crikey. Okay, final hole, 337 off this tee. Or 350-ish to the where we're going. Stay on that line, yeah, that's fairway. Yeah, that's perfect. So, last hole, 3 over for the fairways and greens competition, should we call it, and 2 over par after the first 2 holes dropping shots. So, all in all, really good. I think this is all about strategy, isn't it? Thinking more about your second shots, being aggressive off the tee, getting yourself into position to be able to get a wedge in to where you want it to be, not always closest to the hole, but to the point of where you want it to be, where your next chip shot's going to be the best one. And also thinking about, like, if you were playing around a golf, like thinking where the next putt is going to be. You know, where do you really want that putt to be? If you had a professional caddying for you, he'd be telling you where to put that, she'd be telling you where to put that ball on the green to give yourself the best opportunity to make that birdie. Pin's middle, which is 86 yards to the middle, 90 yards to the middle. Back edge is 100 yards. I kind of want to leave myself kind of in that back right portion of the green, so I need to get it past the flag, and then, because anything chipping short right is a tough chip, anything left is down in that dip, isn't it? So I need to make sure that I get myself into that back right portion. So anywhere on line with the flag and past it is pretty good. Go past that hole. Oh, it's short. I mean, it's a great shot, but it's short. And the reason why this is now left me in a tricky position is because I've got this big ridge to go from here, which means I've got to drop it short right, which is here, and now I'm left with an absolute shocker. Problem I've got is I can't land it up here. It'll kill it and drop it down. If it lands it, it'll skip it on. So I don't have a choice but to try and really spin it, which isn't easy when you've got wet grooves. It takes the spin off the ball. Even though I've got a decent lie, I've just got to play a very uncomfortable shot, which is to try and just spin it. So dead arm spinner. You've got to throw it far enough to get the grip. Played that well. Yeah, played that well. Still wiggling a little out of my left though. Not a lot. Just again, keep the pace up on these greens today. Hold the lines. Nice, good up and down that. Best up and down today, that one. Well, there you go. Course management at its best, I would say. Hopefully you've learned something from that video. Hopefully you'll get out and play with your own friends and do it yourself, because I think there's some great opportunities there for you to start to learn to manage your way around the golf course just that little bit easier. For me personally, I finished 2 over par, which was okay. I feel that's okay. Had a couple of opportunities to chip in as well, which was positive. I started to get the confidence with my chipping, as you could see as we progressed through the round. And I got 14, maybe 15 points out of 18. Let's say it was out of 18 points, so give me those, the par 5 one. I've got 3 shots that I've dropped from fairways and greens, which again, for 9 holes, only not hitting 3 of your fairways or 3 of your greens, I think is good. But I only put that down to the fact that I was being a little bit more aggressive off the tee, relying on my driver just a little bit more to hit fairways, but also giving myself wedges into greens to be able to give myself the chance to put it in the right spot, which again leaves me the easier chip out of all of them around that green. Well, I hope you've liked that, and I hope if you are new to the channel, you consider hitting that subscribe button. Like I said, 50,000 subscribers. It's not far away now. We're nearly there. Even when this video comes out, we should only be a few away anyway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video.